So welcome to this session. Thank you so much for joining us here. What I'm going to be talking about today is a very interesting area. You all, I understand, are trying to study further. And what we are talking about today are the key skills and traits which are expected from MBA graduates of today, right? Now, my focus is going to be multidimensional. We will be talking about the skills and competence, skills and knowledge, which is known as competencies put together in management parlance today, in management language today. We'll talk about those skills and knowledge, and we will also speak about how those competencies, skill or knowledge are built here. We help you in building them here at NMIMS. Right, so I'll be showing you some snapshots of what the curriculum is like at NMIMS, what kind of roles come to NMIMS, right, and what kind of competitions, events are held here at the institute, right? Kanika is saying that I am not audible. Am I audible to everyone else? Yeah, yes, so Shiritam says I am, Tanmay says I am, okay. So I think there are quite a few people who are saying that I am audible. So people who I'm not audible to, can you please check at your end? Yeah. Yeah, talking about two major things here. First, the skills and competencies which are required, and I'll also talk about how they are created, they are built over here at NMIMS through the program. Yeah, so ready to begin? Here goes the screen. Okay, so key skills traits expected from MBA graduates of today. Now, first, let's look at a snapshot of the various roles which come to NMIMS. Okay, so here, these are very, very few of many career choices after an MBA at NMIMS. And whatever you see here on the screen is just a very small subunit of the multiple roles which are offered by various organizations across sectors, across different sizes at NMIMS, right? So if you look at finance, you have analyst in corporate risk, analyst in treasury. If you look at marketing, you have account managers, area sales managers, digital marketing strategists, relationship managers, operations, supply chain, right, project management, analytics. Again, you have multiple roles which are offered. The same goes for general management. You have multiple roles in strategy, multiple roles in consulting. HR, campus engagement, corporate HR business partners, and center of excellence, right? So these are many career choices. These are multiple roles which have been coming for years in the institute. So when we try to formulate our curriculum, right, we keep the roles which come to the campus, which are available in the market in mind, right? So we work backwards after looking at the demand, and then we create skills and competencies based on these roles. Now, there is a very famous saying, unless you try to do something beyond what you've already mastered, you will never grow. This is a philosophy that we very, very strongly follow at NMIMS. So if you look at, a few major full-time programs that we have, these programs in the last 2 years have undergone massive changes, right? What were these changes? We did a very, very comprehensive curriculum review, which internally is known as CCR of the two programs. We went to multiple sources. We went to industry. We went to our alum base, which is very, very strong. We also went to benchmark academic institutions. And when I say benchmark academic institutions, top tier institutions that we are benchmarked against, both in India as well as internationally. And we looked at what they wanted. We conducted interviews. We sent them questionnaires. We had meetings with them, or phone calls with them, so one-to-one personal meetings or over phone. And we collected a lot of data regarding what are the skills and knowledge levels, or in other words, what are the competencies which are required in the MBA students of today, in the managers of today, right? So once we did that comprehensive review, we looked at what the industry demanded. We mapped it backwards to our courses. right? So there were certain courses which were redesigned. There were multiple new courses which were offered, and there were certain courses which we dropped as well. So please understand, we keep in touch with the industry, we keep in touch with our very, very strong alum base, and we keep on revising the curriculum, right? So revision of curriculum happens every single year, but in the last 2 years, we've done a massive review of the program. So we are totally in sync with what is required in the industry today and what are the future requirements. Yeah. Now, before we go and start mapping it to the competencies, one thing which kind of strikes you about Albert Einstein, a very famous saying of his, it's not that I'm so smart, it's just that I stay with the problems longer. And how valid it is in today's world, right? Look at these live cases. So I said we did a CCR in the last 2 years, comprehensive review, but things have changed, right, as per COVID. So we are also taking into consideration what are the things which have happened during COVID. How have organizations responded to the COVID situation, and what kind of competencies and skills are required by employees to respond well. Look at Ecoy. It's a French bank, very, very famous French bank of cycling equipment. It was founded in 2001, offers all kind of safety gear, cycling gear, goggles, clothing, footwear, yeah, for your road cyclists, mountain bikers, right, and triathletes as well. Now, the problem was when COVID stuck us, many of these events got cancelled. Many of the training sessions got cancelled too. So suddenly the organization found itself in a situation where there was no demand for the product, right? Now, what did the organization do? They immediately got their act together and they started focusing on another market. We were all inside our houses. That was happening for people across the world. So they started focusing upon on-stay-at-home cycling needs for indoor trainers and apartment bikes. See, the focus shifted from outdoor bikes to indoor bikes. It became more visible across digital channels and now targeted the people through display advertising. So change in the product offering, change in the way they were trying to reach their customers, right? They created very, very exclusive content, including the live virtual training sessions from professional athletes. So there were virtual training sessions for people who were buying their indoor bikes, but needed help in using them in the best possible manner. Now, as the majority of sales were now occurring online, they closed many showrooms and streamlined their warehouse operations, and this kept their employees also safe. So see how the organizations are responding. They're bringing in change in their product offering, their marketing strategy, and also the way they care for their employees, right? Of course, they provided their employees with hydroalcoholic gloves and gels and ensured that the employees were safe and were following the social distancing measures, right? Along with this, they take care of their distribution also. So the deliveries which were being made were 100% contactless, right? This delivery system, by the way, was also being followed, is also being followed closer home by Hero Cycles. Yeah. This was Ecoy for you. Closer home, Zomato, Swiggy. We are very, very familiar with these names, right? Difficult to survive in today's world, right? Without these online delivery chains, right? So when COVID started in March, again, there was a huge hit that these businesses took, right? They had the restaurants closed down, the riders and kitchen staff were no longer wanting to come out on the roads and deliver, right? Because COVID was new, people did not know how to deal with it, right? And more than 95% of restaurants nationally were offline, and there was a huge amount of threat to the business, right, to this industry. The revenue almost dried up over a period of time. This example you people have seen unfolding in front of you, haven't you, right? Within few months, see how they've got their act together, right? They have ramped up safety. Swiggy also got into the business of making, acting like courier people. So, Swiggy offerings along with making deliveries from restaurants, what they were also doing was they were if you needed someone to send a courier or get things delivered, they acted like courier people, right, within the same city, right? And they started now tying up very, very closely with the restaurants. The conversation between Zomato and Swiggy employees, management, and the restaurants became very, very strong. Restaurants also responded well. They started following WHO practices. We've spoken about contactless delivery. We've spoken about, we've heard about all of this in our day-to-day conversations. All of this is available in the public domain on the various, websites. Temperature checks were done. Sanitization stations were opened up, right? And we see that how, in a very, very collaborative manner, these online delivery platforms have worked with the restaurants to ensure that all required checks to ensure safety of food, the way it was cooked, the way it was prepared, the way it was packed, was in place. They've also partnered very beautifully with their delivery partners. That's the people who are making delivery for them, to ensure their safety as well. So here you see how these organizations, despite being in sectors which were hit, Netflix and all have done well, but these were sectors which were hit, how beautifully they have changed their tracks and they have emerged. At least the losses are not as bad as which was anticipated in the first couple of months. So they took some time to get their act together, but there was this very good revamping, overall revamping, which has happened in the way they ran their businesses. Right. Now, if we look at these examples, there are a few things which emerge, right? What are these few things that emerge? These managers, these people working in these organizations wouldn't have done it, right? Until unless they had certain competencies. Now, what are these competencies that they really needed to have, right? These competencies are competencies which can be bucketed into two major heads. What are these two major heads? One are your technical competencies, right? Now, what are these technical competencies? Technical competencies are competencies which are required in terms of knowledge of what you are doing, knowledge of your product offering, knowledge of your channel partners. Channel partners are, like, for example, channel partners for Swiggy and Zomato are the restaurants, and then the people who make delivery for them, right? So you need to have relationships with them. You need to understand their needs. You need to understand your product, right? Food, how long will it last? How it has to be packed, right? How it could it be a carrier of COVID at that point of time? Those questions were also emerging, right? So you needed to understand signs of the virus as well, especially in relation to what you were delivering to people. So all of this technical knowledge, understanding your customer, is very, very important, right? So they did multiple things. They banked on their understanding of their market, of their customers, right? The best way of making delivery. And they also responded they analyzed the situation very, very fast. They worked very, very fast with their channel partners. They arrived at newer relationship, better understanding of customers' needs in this changed environment, right? So what we see emerging are competencies which are of two types, right? What are these two types of competencies? These are your technical competencies or your functional competencies, right? Which is the knowledge of the business you are into, of your products, etc. Second are your behavioral competencies. What are these behavioral competencies? Behavioral competencies are competencies like interpersonal skills, right? Like your coaching skills, like your mentoring skills. People also had to be trained, right? The kitchen staff, etc. Here, the sales staff in ECOI and so on. So let's closely look at what these competencies are. What are managerial competencies? First of all, competency is a combination of knowledge, skills, right? So application of knowledge happens through skills, right? A dentist studies everything during BDS, but then when internship comes, a person who's graduating as a dentist, he or she will need to perform various dentist related surgeries and procedures in their internship. So knowledge getting translated into skills. behaviors, how you actually behave at workplace, and attitudes that contribute to personal effectiveness. So this is the combination of knowledge, skills, behaviors, and attitudes that contribute to personal effectiveness. Now, what are your managerial competencies? This is sets of knowledge, skill, behavior, and attitudes that a person needs. This is a must requirement to be effective in a wide range of positions and various types of organizations. Have you noticed wide range of positions? Why? Because when you come here to NMIMS, we don't only prepare you for the present roles you'll get into, but we give you education for years to come, for decades to come, right? So we are preparing you with knowledge and skills, behaviors, and attitudes for your future, for wide range of positions you will hold in future, right? Technical competencies, I kind of just explained those to you, but let's look at them again. The functional knowledge and skill that are required to perform a particular type or level of work activity, brand and product knowledge, scientific risk analysis, technology procurement. Behavioral competencies, these are your underlying traits, attributes which directly influence behavior of others. Example, leadership, teamwork, attention to detail, and how do you multitask. This is definitely, these are very important competencies if you look at the behavioral side, right, which are definitely required in managers today. Some space of technical competencies, right, which get developed here. This language may not look very, very familiar, but if you're going into a finance role, couple of years at NMIMS, and all of this will become a part of your common language. External reporting, securities commission, and governmental, financial budgeting, how's that done, financial risk management, fraud detection and control, mergers and acquisitions, in marketing, partnership marketing, right? That's what Swiggy and Zomato did, marketing with their partners, customer experience management. If we talk about HR, designing HR policies, organizational analysis and design, compensation and benefits administration. So this is just a snapshot, very small snapshot of the technical competencies that get developed in the institute. The focus on managerial competencies, right? Now, what are the behavioral competencies? Some of the behavioral competencies are how to manage organizations, right? You will soon emerge as leaders of organizations. There will be certain behavioral competencies which will be expected of you. The ones that are listed here on this slide are related to how you help the organization grow, or how you help the organization change, managing change. See, it's right now at the top. So these are the competencies where our focus is going to emerge now, right? Having taken into consideration what's happened over the last 6 months. How do you manage change in an organization? What is the process of change management you follow? Solving problems. What kind of problems are managers supposed to come across? How do you make decisions in an organization? As you go up the hierarchy, you will see that decisions will no longer be similar. The problems that you will encounter at workplace will not be similar to each other. So one day you will face one sort of a problem, second day you will face a new problem, right? So how do you solve problems and make decisions, especially if these are unprecedented problems, right? These are complex problems. Managing politics and influencing others, taking risks and innovating, setting vision and strategy, managing the work, enhancing business skills and knowledge. If you are in an organization, right, organizations, technology is changing at such a high pace, right? The onus is on me, or on me to enhance not only my business skills and knowledge, but to see that my employees too are trained, are developed for the future. Understanding and navigating the organization, understanding various businesses, because no longer do you work only in one division. In today's world, you work across multiple divisions together. The COVID vaccine, I'm sure you people are aware of this example, where Pfizer of the US and BioNTech of Germany are in the process of developing a vaccine for COVID, right? So people from two different organizations, right, from two different countries are working together, right? So understanding that larger organization, that larger team becomes so important in today's world. Behavioral competencies. Now, for understanding the organization and understanding others, the first step is to understand yourself, right? I need to understand what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses, how do I behave in different situations? Can the way I behave, is it right? Can I make certain adaptations? Can I make any changes to be more efficient, to be more productive? Managing the self includes demonstrating ethics and integrity, right? There's so much of talk regarding artificial intelligence, your driverless cars, right? We talk about technology, we talk about artificial intelligence, right? Especially when you are taking decisions regarding this, your ethics and integrity, that sense has to be extremely strong. Displaying drive and purpose, exhibiting leadership structure, right? How do I manage myself? How do I develop myself over a period of time so that I'm ready for the leadership roles which will emerge in the future? Managing yourself, increasing your capacity to learn, increasing self-awareness. Believe me, that's a very important bit. Developing adaptability, right? So this is all about how do you manage yourself. These competencies, again, are very important for managers and leaders of today. Managing others, how do you communicate effectively, right? Across various medium, how do you work together in teams? How do you develop others? How do you value diversity and difference? Look at how diverse the workforce has become. You have multiple generations working at the workplace, right? You have people from different geographies being there. Look at the Amazon warehouses, look at the various retail outlets, look at the construction sites of certain Japanese companies. You have people from different generations, across industries, across geographies working together. And there's a recent entrant also, not very recent, but being talked about more recently in the workforce. That's the bots, right? So now you have robots working alongside employees as well. Building and maintaining relationships. How do you build and maintain relationships? With your supervisor, with your subordinates, with your peers, with your customers, with your suppliers. Managing effective teams and work groups. Yeah. So these are certain behavioral competencies that are very important for superior performance today, and we keep these also in mind while devising our curriculum. Yeah. Now your question would be, fine, you've told us about so many competencies, you've told us about so many roles, but how do we develop them, right? How do we develop them over a period of 2 years, right? A long way to a long list of things to cover, isn't it? We develop them through 4 to 5 things that we emphasize upon here at NMIMS. What are these 4 to 5 things? First are your classroom sessions, right? Classroom sessions which are done using multiple pedagogies. So any very well-known academic institution, MBA school, our focus is on learning enabled by faculty. Mind it, it's not led by faculty, it is enabled by faculty. So we have some of the strongest courses which are being offered across multiple programs. The focus in those courses are on case studies. What I showed you in case of Ecoy and what I showed you in case of Swiggy and Zomato is a small form of a case study. It's actually a caselet, right? So case studies bring live situations in front of you, bring live problems in front of you, and ask you for real-time solutions, realistic, workable solutions. There is a lot of emphasis upon project work. As soon as you enter the institution, we create groups which stay together for at least 1 year. And there's a lot of group work that happens. Groups work on live projects where they go to real-time organizations looking for solutions to problems within the domain that they are studying. So you know, when it comes to, let's say, HR, we send students to organizations to study their compensation policies. We send students to organizations to study their brand building processes, the usage of social media, and so on. So this is about the project work. Project work is generally done in real-time organizations. Being in Bombay, we are at an advantage. Our students work very, very closely with the industry. Right? We have role plays in the class. We have simulations where you actually, in a safe environment, take decisions and look at the repercussions of the decisions also. So there's a simulation called Capstone, which comes in trimester 4 for most of the programs, where students actually put into practice whatever they've learned in the previous few sessions. Right, then you have corporate engagements. Every course will see some guest speakers who are coming from industry. The placement team also invites a lot of guest speakers from different industries, different functions, right? And thanks to COVID, right? We can thank COVID also for a few things. Now, when it comes to corporate engagements, when it comes to guest sessions, we've had guest sessions from people sitting in London. We've had guest sessions speaking, you know, from people sitting in the US, North America, right? Europe, and other places, Australia as well. Group work. Every afternoon, you know, post 2 p.m. is reserved for group work, because, as I said, the learning is led by the students, right? Facilitated by the faculty. So they sit together, they study their case studies together, they analyze what the case says, they come up with solutions. So in the afternoon, if you'll come to campus, which should resume now, nowadays our students are doing this in their own work groups on Zoom, you will see that they are engaged in all these activities, right? They're engaged in a lot of activities. Then we have beautiful events lined up in the institute, right? Euphoria, you have Arcadia, you have Illuminar. Illuminar is our marketing and finance conclave that sees participation from delegates from different industries, alums, as well as senior people from the corporate world. Right. Similarly, we have Paragana. Paragana is our college fest, which runs over 3 to 4 days. Multiple activities happening here also. We just concluded our HR conclave on 26th and 27th of September. So a lot of participation from industry. Themes are generally panel discussions, case studies, quizzes, and so on. Right. So you will see that students work on these activities and they put up a beautiful show. Arcadia is our sports event. So, you know, you will see that there is soccer and cricket and all these events also where students participate very, very religiously. Competitions. Now, there are multiple competitions. What I'm showing here later on when we chat, maybe if you want to see the list of competitions, I will take you to the list, right? But this is this is a snapshot, a few examples from you know, all the competitions that come to campus. There are multiple organizations that come and engage students on campus. Multiple competitions, ABFR, you know, RL Madura Hackathon. This is your retail arm of the Aditya Birla Group, right? Asian Paints Canvas, Google Case Challenge, Colgate's HR case study competition, Mahindra War Room, Nomura, you know, multiple competitions which come to campus where the students participate in real-time cases, real-time business challenges which these organizations are facing. They come up with solutions and then they make presentations in front of the senior leadership of this organization. So you see the way these competencies are developed, multiple ways. You develop your technical competencies through courses, you develop your behavioral competencies also through certain courses, because we do a lot of personality analysis, etc. during these courses, and also alongside with working with your peer groups. You know, we have a very diverse set of students coming from various educational backgrounds, with work experience, also some who are freshers, right? So you will see that there's a beautiful mix of students and the learning is extremely extensive. Now I'll take you through the curriculum. briefly, these are big slides with a lot of information on these slides, but I'm just showing you a snapshot. All of this data is available on our website. But just take a look at the kind of courses which are there, which help you in building your technical as well as behavioral competencies. So see, this is trimester 1, 2, and 3. This is for your MBA program, right? You have your financial and management accounting, microeconomics. These are courses which will build your technical competencies, knowledge, technology application for business, business analytics, right? Then look at the lower half of this slide. You have managerial communication, right? In both the trimester 1 and 2. You have managing self and teams. How do you manage yourself? How do you work in teams, right? Then towards the end, you have negotiation skills and processes, right? This is a combined offering of the communication and HRBS area. So we are looking at a lot of combined offerings from different areas nowadays, and this is one of them. Now we go to trimester 2. You have multiple options, right? So you have electives here, right? Electives depend, you choose the electives depending upon the area you want to specialize in, and look at the number of offerings which are there from multiple areas. So your skills that are getting built at a very, very high level, so that you have that competitive advantage over peer institutions. And all these courses, as I told you in the beginning, have been designed and have been on offer for the last 1.5 years now, right? So this is your course offering in year 2, the electives which are on offer in the MBA program. Yeah, the list is quite exhaustive and it goes on to a few slides. Now, coming to MBA HR program, we just finished the comprehensive review last year. The new course structure is on offer from this year onwards. That's for the batch of 2020 to 22, right? Trimester 1, you have business anthropology, sociology of work, and so on, right? With emphasis upon other domains as well. You have managerial communication, financial accounting and analysis, right? Service and operations management, and so on. These are your offerings in year 1. You will need time to go through that. So I suggest that you log on to our website and look at them in detail. These are the offerings in year 2. A lot of focus on building your people management skills, as well as your skills in other areas, business domains. There's a lot of emphasis upon skill building along with knowledge. Skill building means you design something, look at business problems, and then you come up with a solution that's designed by you people, right? It is done both in courses as well as in the workshops. Yeah. Now I'll move on to the DSA program, the dual degree program in business analytics. This is a dual degree program, as it says, which is offered together in collaboration by NMIMS and the Purdue University, right? So you spend 1 year here at NMIMS and 1 year at Purdue. So look at the skills, look at the curriculum at these two places at NMIMS. Again, what you see here is offerings given area-wise, right? So you have human resources and behavioral sciences, you have finance, you have marketing, you have communication, information system, operations, and decision sciences. So all of this will be done in your first year at NMIMS and second year at Purdue. Yeah. So see how beautifully the technical skills, and to what depth are these technical skills built in our graduates. Yeah. Now I'll show you some snapshots of life here at NMIMS. So here you see a role play happening, which happens in classes, like interview skills, your negotiation skills, and so on. Snippet of capstone, which is the simulation that is offered in trimester 4, where you integrate all your learnings of the first few trimesters. You take decisions in an organization related to marketing, sales, operations, HR, finance, right? And see the real impact of these decisions on the organization's revenues, profit, and of course, the share value of the market capitalization as well. So what you see over here are the names of the teams, which are your fast, feet, fist, foam, and fume, right? So simulation also becomes an integral part where you are applying your learning. So the focus throughout the curriculum is on gaining knowledge, as well as developing skills and actually applying the knowledge that you've gained. Illuminar, a marketing and finance conclave. You see a panel discussion here happening, right? So as students, you will be designing all of this. You will be participating in all of this. So these are student-led initiatives. On the right here, we have the HR Conclave 2020, which just concluded day before yesterday. So this was the entire team of students who put on a beautiful show. Leadership talk by Mr. Aditya Sinha. So you'll have, Bombay as the capital city of the country, right? We are quite blessed. We are very close to the industry. We are located right in the middle of Bombay, right? And we have access to a lot of corporates. We work very, very closely with them. So these kind of leadership talks are a daily affair in the institute, and you'll be gaining a lot from their knowledge and experiences, right? What you see over here is our it's Euphoria, which is our the entertainment, the art sector cell, and in the past few years, we've seen so much of talent on campus. Our students, we have an assortment of sports people who've done quite well. We have people who are budding musicians. We have people who are budding dancers, right? So a very diverse group of students with a lot of talent in other areas alongside academics as well. So yes, this is a snapshot of one of the competitions, the Mahindra War Room, right? You again have multiple competitions like this happening on campus throughout the year. So a lot of action, a lot of things to learn from, right? And a lot of interaction with people within your peer group on the campus, as well as industry. Thank you so much. Questions? I will stop sharing now. Yeah. Thank you so much. Any questions here? Yeah, I think there was a question in between. Someone, Subodh, who asked me to display a particular slide. Can you tell me which slide this was? If you can put that on the chat, I'll go back to that slide. And okay, I'll take questions from Yug and Sai also. I've shown you course structures for 3 programs.
Yeah, ma'am, he's asking for slide number 15.
Slide number 15. Okay,
yes.
So I'll go back to, just give me a moment. Yeah, Subodh, can you see it now?
Yeah, yes, he has written thank you in private.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, we can move on to next question.
Oh, sure. I have an admission form rated query. Is it the right platform to ask the question? Niyati, would you want to take this question, or you want to route them to the admission team?
Yeah, we will route them to the admission team. I'll just put the email ID. So you can write to the email ID given them, and our counselors will help you solve your query.
Yeah. So, does that answer your question? We will share the email of the people from admissions, the right person from admissions, and you can please write there and get your query answered. Sai, what about the placement regarding the dual degree program? Yes, we are working on the placements. Incidentally, the first batch is going to pass out next year, and we'll have some statistics on placements right there. But yes, the placements will be taken care of by the institution. Will be facilitated by the institution. Yeah. Can you please tell me the eligibility of criteria for MBA in pharmaceutical management? Thank you, Sujay, for this question. This question again, we'll have to route to the admissions department. Niyati, please take a note of this question also. And if you can help Sujay get in touch with the admissions department to understand the eligibility of MBA in pharmaceutical management. Yeah.
Yes, Sujay, you can write us on admission inquiry. So our counselors will get in touch with you and help you solve all your doubts about the program.
Arthik, as an engineering graduate, should I continue my job before pursuing MBA? My answer is yes. You should, until and unless there are compelling reasons not to, right? See, a management role, an MBA's role is more about multitasking. So I understand that you people have to prepare for your entrance exams, for the interviews, and it becomes tough, difficult alongside a regular job. But if you plan well, I don't think it's so much of a problem. Any gain of experience is welcome, and it helps you, put things in perspective. So yes, if you can continue, please do so. When this PPT will be made available to us, we'll make it available to you. So Niyati, this question I think you can take. Can we make the PPT available to them?
Yes, we can. Or else you can visit our website if your query is related to the course structure. The website has all the details program wise, so you can check on our website. And if still you require the PPT, we can definitely share.
Sure.
You can give us you can just drop your mail ID in the chat box.
Ma'am, for the dual degree course in data analytics, what is the eligibility criteria? Again, the admissions department will be the best place where you can raise this query. And I think we've already shared the details, the email ID of the admissions department. Is there any dress code in NMIMS? That's a very interesting question. Agrim, do we have a dress code? The answer is a yes. A semi yes, right? So during classes, the students are supposed to be in semi formals, right? And during the days of corporate engagement, when you have guest sessions or when you make presentations, business formals, right? It is a combination of the requirement of the institution and what the students also want to do. So, when they have presentations or when they have these various events, they dress up like the future managers they will be. So yes, there is a dress code, right? A stated and unstated dress code, yes. For more details, okay, this is what we've written. Is it from NMIMS Mumbai? Ranjan, what do you mean by NMIMS Mumbai? Ranjan has written, is it from NMIMS Mumbai? Do you mean that are we presenting from NMIMS Mumbai? Yes, we are presenting from NMIMS Mumbai. Where I'm sitting here is a part of our campus. I'm on campus today. So yes, very much NMIMS Mumbai. What is the placement criteria for MBA? Placement criteria for MBA, Agrim, can you tell me a little more about this question? What do you mean by this? Rishikesh Moore, okay, a question. Could you please elaborate more to which degree case studies are integrated in pedagogy, since many programs have good results coming out of case-based studies? To a very, very large extent. This is our most prevalent, the choicest of pedagogies, but we integrate them very beautifully along with other pedagogies also, which is your simulation, group projects, and so on. But yes, case studies form the heart and soul of our courses because they help both in building of your conceptual skills, that's developing knowledge, and application also, right? Which is applying the knowledge that you have gained. So it's quite driven through case studies. How do you think a media graduate should present herself to the AdCom so as to consider a good fit among graduates from top tier engineering and commerce schools? I think I've already spoken about it. Our students are very, very diverse. And when I talk about diverse, it is also about diversity of education that they bring in. So you will bring in your own advantages, right? And especially the fact that you are coming from media will help you a lot in positioning yourself as someone with that knowledge of marketing and understanding of media, which will be very, very helpful both for ATCOM as well as your time here on campus as a student of whatever domain you choose, right? Is SDA Bokani Institute a part of NMIMS tie-up or dual degree? Niyati, this question
No, no, actually, it is not part of any. We don't have any collaboration with that institute.
Ma'am, can you please tell me about the entrepreneurship development opportunities provided by the institute? Uh, See, we have courses here, right? But do we have an incubation cell? Not as of now. If COVID situation continues, will all the lectures in coming year shift online? COVID situation continues, see, we are trying to come back to normalcy. So if you look at the Bombay campus, the faculty and the staff have resumed work, right? We don't come here every day, but we come here quite a few days of the week. So once the situation is more conducive, we definitely plan to get our students also back on campus. So there's a lot of positivity that we should be able to start classes, soon. Now, when that soon would be, will be determined, as the situation evolves. But yes, at least we foresee that things will, will start resuming to normalcy. So yes, will they shift to online? Doesn't look like, not all trimesters, right? But it will be a lot dependent upon what the situation is like in the coming few weeks and months. As a fresher, is it viable to join MBA? Because as a fresher, we have no work experience and less exposure to industry. Rahul, thanks for that question. Yes, when people work in industry, they get their experience, and they are able to relate to certain concepts to the organization they have worked for. Having said that, freshers bring in a lot of vigor and focus on academics. They are very, very fast learners, right? Because they're still in that mode of learning, picking up knowledge and applying. So our batches are mixed batches with people both with work experience as well as freshers. I'm sorry for such a weird question, but is there a girls football team for NMIMS? No, it's not a weird question. I love this question. It's an absolutely delightful question. I don't know whether there's a separate team or not, but many of these teams, soccer, we just had an IPL version of cricket, a few months back before, pre-COVID situation, and the girls were very much part of the team. So I don't know about a separate team, but I know about mixed teams where you have both boys and girls playing together, shoulder to shoulder. Yeah, and it's a nice question. Will our course curriculum change due to this COVID situation? Dipali, the course contents, my nomenclature of courses has not changed, but the sessions have been modified. So we are talking about, for example, when we talk about certain marketing strategy, we talk about marketing strategy which would be more relevant in situations like COVID situations. When we talk about compensation policies, we talk about what are the various compensation strategies that organizations are coming out with for their employees, and what does the future look like. So your course curriculum, are we looking at you changing the courses, redesigning the entire curriculum? As of now, no, but whatever changes that are happening around us because of COVID have already been incorporated on, into the courses. Ma'am, does having a gap year affect admission results? No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. I'm sure you have a good reason for taking a gap year, and gap year is not stigmatic, right? So no, I don't think it will impact the admission results. Okay, what should be our preparation strategy for NMIMS case study and interview? Uh, yes, that's an important one, right? Uh, I'm sure when it comes to your written tests, you people already should be prepared, right? We've all got our maths and English everything in place. When it comes to the case study and interview, my suggestion is please keep on reading. Right, the more you read about the present happenings, the more you read about the business news, the political news, the social news across the country and across the world, it helps you get a perspective of what organizations are doing, what problems they are facing, and not only during COVID time. So, don't be very COVID focused also. COVID will pass, right? And keep on reading about issues, problems, opportunities, challenges organizations are facing, countries are facing, how they are arriving at a solution, how well did the solution work, and so on. And you will be ready for the case study and interview. How does the institute help in? Okay, just a second. Bridging the gap between academics and developing industry acumen in operations management. Again, we have a summer program where you actually go and actually see how things are happening in the industry. You work upon summer projects along with an internal as well as a company mentor. Then projects in all areas: operations, finance, marketing, HR, IT, are designed in a manner that you people go actually and work very closely with the industry and learn from there as well. Alongside this, you will see a lot of guest sessions happening where senior people from industry are invited to bridge that gap. Yeah. Okay. What is the cutoff for NMIMS Mumbai in NMAT? It's different every year, right? This again is information which we can get from admissions. I have some idea, but I don't have the actual numbers for this year. If the lectures are going online, then what's the difference between NMIMS distance MBA and this MBA program? Any added advantages here? Yeah, this is a very customized program, right? Where the students and faculty work very, very differently. And the curriculum that's designed is also different, with a lot of integration of project work, etc. Considering what the situation in certain courses, we have actually tied up with companies, we've tied up with organizations, and students are having Zoom meetings, etc. with them to learn. The course, I would say, is much more intensive. Your touch point with the industry, with the faculty is much higher. So the intensity and the touch point both with faculty and industry is much higher in case of this program. Okay. If someone wants to go into academia, research, fellowships, doctorates, and entrepreneurship after a few years of corporate experience, is NMIMS MBA core a good fit for that person? So my understanding of your question is that if someone later on wants to get into academia, wants to do a PhD, will doing an MBA in core today help you in getting into a PhD program? Yes, it will, right? We have a lot of cases where our MBA students, after working in the industry for 2 to 3 years, go to do a PhD, right? Some of them have come back to NMIMS to do a PhD also from here, and they've done well. They've done well, right? So irrespective of the program, MBA core, MBA HR, they provide you with enough grounding. Please also understand there's a huge research emphasis nowadays in the corporate world. So if you will look at how organizations arrive at solutions, come out with new products, or try to understand their customers' better, right? You will see that they do a lot of research. That is why there's a lot of research focus, business research focus, even in your MBA program. So even in the MBA program, you will see that you will have sessions, you will have courses on business research. So that kind of prepares you for future research, both in academia and in industry. Is PGDM better than MBA? Is more updated as per industry standards? Ranjan, who said that? We'll have to look at the curriculum of both, right, to arrive at that judgment, at that answer. So until unless we see both of them, it will be very difficult to make a generalized statement regarding whether PGDM is better or MBA is better, right? You mentioned a few competitions or events for finance marketing. Is it same for other streams? Yes, a lot of them. A lot of them are there. A lot of these competitions are there for across streams. Yeah. Is there any attendance criteria? What do we mean by attendance criteria? That our students have a minimum attendance criteria? Yes. It is 80. The emphasis is that ideally the students should be available for all 100% of the sessions, but because that's how the learning happens. You're here to learn, right? So you're here to learn, and why even miss that opportunity of missing one session? Having said that, yes, 80% is the minimum attendance requirement. Have I missed out on any questions? So yes, Shritam has answered one question. He's given his opinion here. Yeah. Nirti, have I missed out on any question? Can you help me here? Is there any entrance exam for admission in MBA program? Yes, there is, right? You're talking about NMAT here, right? So that's the entrance exam. Okay, NMIMS Mumbai and Indore. This is the cutoff for NMIMS Mumbai and Indore. Again, this question can be best answered by the admission department, right? What is the expected cutoff for NMIMS Mumbai and NMAT? Again, admission department will be the the best place to answer that question. What are the skills one should have for an MBA program? Reading skills, right? That jest in life, to learn more, to do more. Aptitude for learning, being open-minded are some of the critical requirements, the foundational requirements for any MBA student. And of course, other requirements when it comes to managers, what are the competencies which are required? We'll help you with building them. We'll help you in building them here. Any more questions? Okay, Ishit is talking about what is the pattern of trimester, for instance, weightage towards projects and exams and other curriculum, how are they divided? So every course has its own evaluation criteria. Mostly 60% weightage is given to your internal assessments. That happens during the course of a course, which could be your group work, project work, your class participation, quizzes, and 40% is for the end term exam. This is for any standardized course. But yes, we are moving a lot more towards having internal, more focus upon internal continuous assessment rather than assessment which happens through your end term exams towards the end. How are the semester exams conducted during the COVID situation? They are conducted online. We've conducted exams for 2 trimesters already. COVID situation, the lockdown started in March. We had our first round of online exams in April. We just concluded one set of online exams towards the end of last month. No, not towards the end of last month. Beginning, second week of this month. So the experience has been great, both from students and the faculty's perspective. How is other entrance tests affect the admission decisions? For example, GRE, GMAT. Does it have any effect? We'll need to speak to the admission department regarding this. Yeah, any more questions?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am, there's a question from Dipali. Is there any scholarship available in NMIMS?
Again, this is, I think, best answered by the admission department, right? I'm not aware of this. And also, they would be the best ones with all the guidelines, etc. While going for what is the expected month for the start of the MBA program for batch of 2021-23, as usual, we started with our batch of 2020 and 22 also on time. So NMIMS is one of the very, very few, if any, if there are any at all, which institute which has just not let the COVID situation impact our the entire curriculum plan. What is okay? So I've answered this. While going for the interview, what all should we go through? Course related. Not really course related. My sense would be that just come prepared with whatever is happening around you. You should be avid readers of the business news, of the political news, of any kind of news around you, right? And you should know the course structure of the institute, because then you make an informed decision about joining the institute. I think that's all that is required. You don't really need to look at the course contents, right, of different courses that we offer here. That you can do once you join the institute. We'll help you out with that. Yeah, Abhishek, how is the teaching pedagogy in online classes? It will be different than offline classes, and about case study discussion. Oh, yes, yes. So, as I said, NMIMS was extremely proactive in dealing with the COVID situation. So, as soon as the lockdown started, we utilized that time for a lot of training of the faculty members also. Pedagogy is certainly different, but we use multiple platforms. For example, I use Zoom extensively. Case study discussions are going on quite well. We make use of multiple features which are there online. The polls are there, the breakout rooms are there, and students are doing pretty well. So the learning continues as it is. Pedagogy has changed. Yes, pedagogy has changed. But teamwork, project work, students, instead of meeting on campus, are meeting on Zoom and carrying on their work with as usual. They're working on their case studies. Discussions happen online. Everybody knows how to make the best out of all the features which are there available on online platforms. And yes, I don't think the quality of teaching, actually the quality of teaching, if you ask me, has improved, because we were very proactive in in adopting the various platforms. Yeah, so yes, case discussion still continues. Case studies are still a very, very integral part of this. Simulations are being run as they were earlier on, and role plays are also happening in class. So yeah, it goes on as usual.
I think, ma'am, you have covered all the questions and we can end the session. Guys, if you have any queries, please write us on admissionsinquiry@nmims.edu or visit our website, or you can call us at 1800-1025-138. It is a toll-free number. Our counselors will be available from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. So you can call anytime for any kind of queries related to program, NMED, NMIMS application, etc. So thank you, ma'am, once again for such an insightful session and sharing your experience and knowledge with us. And thank you all the wonderful audience for participating today. Hope the session has helped you solve all your queries. Hope to see you all at NMIMS. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Niyati, and thank you, everyone. Some very good questions asked. So all the best to you people for your careers, and we really hope to see a large number of you here on campus very, very soon. Thank you very much.